I mean, I've been a number of CEOs. I don't have the relationship you have with them, but when I've been at conferences, when I've spoken and whatnot, they ask me, they say, well, what do you think, what's going on? And then I turn the tables and I say, well, what do you think? And they say, well, there's some problems here. And then I ask them, they ask, well, what's going on in Washington? And I said, well, the consensus, the economists is that this is no big deal.
Right.
And that has been the case, I think. It's still very much dominated by people who think that this isn't that big a deal. It's starting to shift a little bit. And they say, they sort of shake their heads and they're like, yeah, that's what we, I went to the Fed, the local Fed that they were there, the Federal Reserve, and that's the same message I got from them, that this is no big deal. And you get a sense from the CEOs themselves that they're a little bit uneasy, that they do think there's something going on, and it's not so
CEOs
sure.
have no clue. They themselves have no clue. I mean, they typically rely upon people 3 levels below them to make these decisions, and they just get fed whatever they want.
But so then I think that's the critical question. If CEOs now have access to a university research group like this one here, and then can sort of say what they think their real needs might be in an open fashion. In other words, if we could have a university willing to collaborate with us and do the kind of what kind of, there's two questions. What kind of research would they feel needs to be done? That would be, and from our point of view, having access to those kind of people, what would we ask them? Suppose they say, okay, doors are open. I really want to help because this is important for us. Just like you said. Then the challenge for us is how to frame the research inquiry. So we've got a survey. That's one way to do it, and that provides certain kinds of information. And maybe these in-depth case studies would be, but beyond that, I think we almost have this luxury of carte blanche. We can design the study we want, and we can find foundations that will fund. We don't have to worry about getting money from companies per se, but I think we need to try to think with them, what kind of information do they have that would really reveal more about this phenomenon than we're getting from the public figures or the normally reported figures.
I think we'll get a lot smarter this semester. We'll basically get the first set of data back, and we'll know what we don't know. Because right now we have no clue what we know, what we don't know. We're just sort of guessing. We'll become a lot smarter about it. We'll be able to frame the questions much better. And in future semesters, we can really dig down in different areas and do much more precise surveys and so on. But the one comment you had made in one of your emails was, and in fact, a couple of journalists made the same thing, that CEOs have clamped up. No one gives them information. So far, our experience has been the exact opposite. The CEOs are very ready to give information, and very ready to share with us and help us actually make this happen. So it should be an interesting experiment to see where we end up.